What's up guys, James Zhang here from Knives and Stones. On today's episode, we are going to talk about how to make some of the very popular broad wax. Yes, it's one of those paste wax that we buy from knife shops and from your local hardware store, and we often use them to apply to our saya, handles, or just cutting boards. It is very easy to use and I like it a lot. So on today's episode, let's talk about how to make some of those. So let's talk about the paste wax in general. What do you think it makes them pasty? Well, basically, we have this beeswax. Essentially, we're just going to turn some of this solid wax, let it be the beeswax or maybe just the normal burning wax that we use to make candles, and we turn those into a paste form somehow. So now you might be wondering, how do we do that? Especially because this beeswax is a single piece of brick under the room temperature. Yes, we need the help of this. This is the paraffin oil or the mineral oil that I talked about during the last episode, and we were saying that we use this to prevent knife getting rust from the environment. And today we'll use this and mix that with this. So this is liquid, this is solid. Once you mix that together, and maybe adding a bit of, what's this? Oh yeah, this way. Yes, this is the coconut oil. I like to have a bit of coconut oil as well. We mix the three together and we get a paste wax. So first is the mineral oil, and we use this mineral oil to basically form the liquid part of the mixture, and this guy here is responsible to basically penetrate the surface of the timber and goes deep into the timber, and this is what this guy does. The next is this solid piece of natural beeswax. I like to use beeswax because I don't know what's the ingredient of those paraffin wax or the burning candle wax. They are good for burning, yes, but we don't know if it is fruit grade. So what I tend to buy is I tend to get this 100% natural beeswax because they're natural and they don't have any man-made harmful ingredient in it. The job for the beeswax is, as any wax, it provides a protective coating on the timber. So you have the paraffin oil that goes into the timber, and you have the beeswax or the wax that's on the surface, stays on the surface of the timber to protect it from, I guess, daily use, and to form that shiny sheen on top. And lastly, I like to have a bit of this coconut oil. As a woodworker before, or even now, I'm still love doing my woodworking. This is the classic combination of the paste wax, and the coconut oil here is for giving the extra warmth and that soft touching the feel of the paste wax. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of French polishing guys use this combination just because that feel, that warmth feeling from the coconut timber is really attractive. Okay, so this is the setup. I basically set up a cooktop in my small office, and hopefully it's not gonna destroy anything. But all you need is this one of these portable, or at home, just your cooktop. This is an induction cooktop with a old pan that I'm not using anymore. The ratio of this is about a third each, so a third of paraffin mineral oil, a third of this beeswax, and a third of the coconut oil. Alright, okay, so for some reason, my induction cooktop doesn't like this old, whatever, Teflon pan, maybe it's because it's actually a piece of aluminum rather than, I don't know, steel, so it didn't work. I'm gonna have to swap to another pan, and let's see how that go. All right, it's gonna get a little bit messy. Because this is a smaller pan, that this whole pot is a bit full. That's alright. You just keep on stirring it. It takes no time. And no, you don't put full power, okay? So full power means this whole thing will just boil very quickly, and that's not good. So I should have cut this big chunk of beeswax into a smaller pieces at the beginning, so to speed up the process a little bit, because see, I'm stirring. As I'm stirring, everything else has been melting except this big chunk. It's gonna take forever. This is a tester, a German knife that's used to compare between a German knife and a J knife, and I find this is probably the most useful times is to cut that beeswax. If you don't want to use this setup, I think put everything together and throw it into an oven is also a good idea. Okay, so now everything is melted. We just have to wait until it settles back down, it cools down, it settles back down, and we are ready. But okay, so we turn this off first. But before we leave this and let it settle, this is the last ingredient. What's this? Vitamin E. Yes, so essentially all we need to do is put a few drops of this vitamin E oil, and that is basically a cosmetic cream. You give it to your mother-in-law, not your wife, okay, you give it to your mother-in-law and tell her this is Estee Lauder natural, organic, whatever. No, just don't mention the brand, okay? Just tell her this is from a trusted source. It's great, you know, it gives her very warm cream feeling, and she will love you, you know? Don't ask me why I know this. I've done that. Okay, now it's been a couple of hours after we made that oily mixture, and as you can see now, it's become a solid state. You see that? Super cool, isn't it? And, okay, so see, that's buttery looking, right? Okay, you see that? It's like a paste. Okay, so this is 2 whole wood saya that I've got from the rack, and they are both untreated. So I will apply this broad wax that we just made to one of them, and let's see the difference. I bet you will be very surprised and happy. Okay, so I've just applied a thin layer of our broad wax to this whole wood saya, and compared to the sample, you can see it has a lot more visible figure now, and yeah, it's generally a much better looking saya. The timber has the figure, has the color, has the warmth, which is very hard to show on the video, but if you're holding it, you can definitely tell the difference. And yeah, my skin is really good as well, so yeah, do make sure you give some of this exotic organic skincare product to your mother-in-law. She will love you. Okay guys, so this is really it from me. As you can see, for a a couple of hours time, actually that includes wait time, you got yourself more than 1 liter. This is about 1.5 liters worth of broad butter, and it definitely behaves like butter. So what I find this particular little guy here is that it is really good on a lot of things like saya, the handle, and our cutting boards. And by making it myself, I know I'm using the top ingredients. Okay guys, this is really it from me. Hopefully after watching this video, you now know how to make yourself some of the best quality broad butters in the world, and that comes at a very low cost. Besides, you are now the best son-in-law in the world, isn't it? So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please leave the good old thumbs up, and I will see you next time.